what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic morning. I know I sure am. And I gotta say, I don't know if you guys like the change of pace here, but I gotta imagine this is better than the truck videos. I know there's like a certain kind of ambiance that the truck videos bring. However, I'm having to use a non-perfected AI audio tool to remove the audio. It's making my voice playback a little weird. It's making it, seem unnatural when you're listening to playback. And I mean, I guess you could enjoy the words being spoken in the content. I just don't like how it's packaged very well. Whereas like out here, it's not much better. You're still getting a little feedback from the breeze coming by with the wind, but it's not as bad production wise. And I'm very minimal to begin with. Like with these videos, I'm putting almost no editing effort into them, which is what I want, to be honest. Like editing is cool and all. I used to love it when I was a kid. I would make so many movies when I was a teenager. And that's back when you used to back in my day, that's back when you used to you have to get a video camera with tapes on it and then get like a bunch of cords and stuff and then download conversion software and all kinds of shit. And you would do all that just so you could get it on your computer to start editing. I had a couple friends that were better at it than me. I was a Windows movie maker kind of guy, but I enjoyed it all. I physically don't have the time, nor do I have the kind of energy willing to put a lot of effort into video editing right now. The problem is, I'm working a full-time job with the trucking, but then also I'm managing like a pretty hefty bodybuilding lifestyle on the side of it. So, I mean, I do have downtime every day, but the problem is sometimes you make like a short video and it takes all fucking day to edit the goddamn thing. Sometimes multiple days. And when I only have a couple hours at most of free time in my day, if I'm doing everything the best I can with timing, like it's just, I'm not someone who could just keep picking up and putting down the same project over and over and hoping for a quality result. I'm someone who, I either get a whole project done in one sitting, or I get the majority of it done, and then if I have to revisit it, it's just for final touches on things, which is better because it's like a different kind of eye you're viewing the material with when you're just trying to make minor changes. Whereas when you're like doing full-blown editing, like you're being hypercritical of all the different little aspects. And honestly, the end product could end up not being so great. But I mean, I guess that's a risk you take with any video you record, either direction. I just don't have the time or the energy to want to invest into video editing right now. So I find these outdoor videos very convenient. I know there's like the added downside of me like having to breathe heavier than normal, even though I'm doing like a pretty low level of cardio. I'm walking fast enough to get a pump in my calves. I'm walking the equivalent of like 3.5 miles an hour on the treadmill. I'm doing it outside, so things kind of balance out in a certain way. And it's funny, like the outdoor walking is supposed to be like something I do if I'm in a pinch and there's no other option, but this is kind of my first option when it comes to starting the day out. I like the sunlight, I like to sweat, I get to attempt to even out my tan a little bit. So it may, effort wise, it may not yield the best results, but it's not, when I say best results, I'm not saying like there's shitty results out of what I'm doing right now. It's just like if I were to do like a stair stepper, it would get my heart rate up to the desired range a lot quicker than me doing this outside, but when I'm doing this, if I'm really on it, it's taking me about 12 minutes to get to my target heart rate. And then I'm maintaining that for another 18. So, opposed to doing stairs, and I'm probably at that target heart rate within 5 minutes, if not before then. So it's accumulating more total time of you being in the target heart rate range, doing something like a stair stepper. Whereas I'm walking outside, it's a lot harder for me to get in that target heart rate range when I'm just walking very fast. But I don't want to run. One, for the impact in the joints. Two, because it impedes muscle repair to some degree from the repeated shock of the impact of your feet on the ground. But it's just going to fatigue myself too much to be able to keep up with the demands of the weight training. Because while I'm not, my gears have shifted to where I'm not focused on putting on additional muscle right now, I still have the potential to put on a little bit, but I need my training to be good. My training's got to be very good. And if I'm gassing myself out earlier in the day running and stuff, it could be multiple hours later, but I'm still not 100%. Whereas the walking, I'm for sure 100% by the time it comes to lift. And I got to do all this and keep a lot of tender care and affection towards the way I structure all this stuff, because I'm not naturally inclined to it. Like, I think Nathan D'Asha before, which he's a very decorated professional bodybuilder, but he's the type of guy where he's won all those pro shows, and he's even won a pro show going and running an entire marathon the day before the show, and just like going in and being able to succeed like that. Like, this guy it's a different kind of person. If I throw random wacky shit into the mix, it's gonna drastically impact not just my physique, but my ability to train with weights. So some people, like very rare individuals, you know, they have the ability to really mess around and just continue to get better. I don't have that luxury, because if I'm gonna be honest, I think my genes are quite average. I don't build muscle at an astronomically like unnatural rate. I build muscle kind of like, I would say like a tinge above average, but I'm talking like decimal points better, not like a huge percentage better. But I can't afford for little things to fuck with my groove here, because it will absolutely yield terrible results for me. But maybe you're out there and you are the lucky person with your genes, in which case that's awesome. You have the ability to put on a ton of muscle. And imagine if you did put all your efforts to the best use, and you have those kind of genes, you're destined for greatness there. It's like a Michael Jordan scenario. Me, I was not meant to be Michael Jordan. I don't even think I was meant to be an IFBB pro. However, I'm putting in a ton of effort to try and prove the universe wrong and just get a pro card at this. It's not like I expect to be a good pro. I'm probably never going to win a pro show. Might not even ever get top 5 in one. But I just want to prove I'm good enough to hold a professional title. And if everything goes well and I do end up there, I will take downtime and then compete at the professional level, but not with high hopes. Kind of just doing it to try and solidify the fact that I've gotten there, but I would not go into those shows expecting to win. At that point, you're going against people that clearly have top of the line genetics, and I don't. So hard work could get me so far. I could beat some of those people, but you know, a lot of them are also extremely hard workers. With everything equal, but with their genetics better, they're going to succeed every time, above and beyond what I can do. And it's not a bummer. It's not a cop out. I'm not I'm not using that as an excuse to put in less effort into my life. It's just a matter of fact. And I put in the most effort to try and close the gap between me and others. But I can only do so much. And at the end of the day, I'm just happy with improving, which I know everyone says that shit, but like, honestly, I could look to the left or right of me at a gym, and there could be, I don't know, some way bigger guy than me. I'm unfazed by that. Maybe when I was younger in my life, I would get insecure and jealous, but I'm very indifferent. I genuinely only care that my progress is trending in the right direction. And as long as it's trending in the right direction, I cannot complain. That's just, it's like, so other people are better than me, but am I really going to bitch that I'm getting better? It's silly. And if you continue to get better, you know, you're kind of navigating your own path, your own puzzle, your own maze that you're trying to get out of in this life. And everyone's got a little bit of a different path. But if you continue to keep improving, even if someone's better than you, you guys are still both encountering twists and turns along the way. You're having to adapt. You're having to change things. Every day is not going to look the same. Things are going to be different, probably different from each other. And over time, you're going to have to incorporate different approaches just to continue progressing. But you're encountering like roadblocks and sabotage along the way. And now you're having to make mindful decisions when adjusting what you're doing to continue trying to improve. So while you continue to navigate that pretty well and continue to improve, that person that's better than you, you know, they may run into one of those roadblocks and it just kind of fucks them up. Maybe they don't want to accept that they need to change things. Maybe they changed the wrong thing. Maybe they're just kind of left in the dark and they're frustrated, so they're doing too many things at once. It could be any variety of those reasons. But at the end of the day, if someone hits a roadblock and they cease to improve and you still do, you will close that gap. And, you know, there's other people out there where they're fortunate enough that, you know, they have the right mindset, the right genes, the right everything on their side, training experience, to where they're going to make the right changes at the right times to continue to improve. But that's not everyone, and it's not everyone forever. I've hit a lot of roadblocks earlier in my lifting career, and as it stands right now, I'm very good at navigating the changes because I'm not married to what I'm doing. Like, what I'm doing is a means to an end, and when the means is no longer working, I have no problem changing things up. Whereas before, I would do what most people do, which is I find something I like, I get progress out of it, and now I've tied that to my identity. Like, just the way I do things is a reflection of myself, and I view myself in high regard. And if other people are not doing the things that I'm doing, well, then that's just dumb, because what I'm doing is working and it's got to be the best way. Like, that kind of thinking I just described, it's very dangerous. It wants to stifle your growth. But I've evolved throughout the years through maturity and experience to where if I have to change the manner in which I'm doing things, I'll just do it. It's not that big of a deal. So I don't even have that holding me back. I've had enough fuck ups and stuff that I have a good idea of what to change. But even if I manipulate the wrong factor, I'm not broken up with it at the end of the day. If, like, whatever change I made did not alleviate the problem, it at least eliminated what I thought was one solution, and it's just left the remaining ones on the table for me to choose from. So I can't complain about that kind of stuff, and I continue to get better. I've also, on the flip side, I've been around people smaller than me, and by the looks of me, you could tell, like, I lift, but I'm not, you know, I'm not a mass monster yet. I would love to be one, but there's people smaller than me at the gym that are, like, supposed competitors, and these guys are kind of fucked. They've been lifting around me for like the past 4 years, and some of them have made almost no change at all. And they're kind of like battling with the throes of whatever conflicts their life is putting at them, and they're not prioritizing the thing that they say matters. So they cease to improve, they stay the same. And some of them are like going on 4 years of being like that. And they probably convinced themselves that tomorrow, next week, next month is going to be different, but it's not. You have to really like change your deep internal drive, or at least be kind of more familiar with what ticks your heart to wanna move in a certain way. Like what creates your love toward the things you're doing in your life. If you're like more familiar with that internal drive within yourself, you should have no problem changing things. It's hard though. Sometimes you don't trust yourself. Sometimes you feel like you maybe like stumbled into doing the right thing. Maybe there's something better out there, but you kind of just clumsily stumbled into something that works. So now you want to stick with it because you feel lucky. But the luck runs out eventually. Luck does not last forever. And what you're left with is, frustration and confusion at the end if you don't want to make changes. There's a lot of things like that. It'll hold people back. And the only way to get past that is to kind of detach yourself a little bit from all these things you're doing. These things you're doing, they're just things you're doing. It's not who you are. The way you train is not who you are. Being big is not who you are. You are whatever your name is. However you view yourself. However others view you based on the actions you put out into the world. So all of that goes in your identity, but the ideas and things you do, that should not be a part of it. Because you're kind of closing off the possibility of you accepting new ideas into your life. And once you start doing that, you stop growing. So it's funny how so much of this is mental in that way. It's not just as simple as going and do the work. There's a lot, it's multifaceted. There's a lot of factors involved in like you doing well over a long period of time. Because the only one that's going to get in your way is yourself. And there's a lot of things that'll happen or not happen that are going to get you confused and frustrated and not thinking as clearly as you would if you were an outside spectator, which is why coaches are important. But enough about all that. It's kind of how I feel about the mindset aspect of getting in better shape. And it is hard. Like what I'm doing right now, the act in itself right now is fairly easy. But overall, the process I'm going through is a very difficult one. It's mostly pushing your restraint and your discipline at the end of the day. Over a long period of time of having to prep and cut weight, you're going to be very starving and more susceptible to the thoughts of wanting to fuck off. But persevering through those and realizing it's just an emotion, and like all other emotions, it'll pass. You can kind of reach peace with what's going on, even if you're feeling a little hungry. But it's hard because you're in real time experiencing all this stuff. And then you have the stress of your day, which could be any variety of unique situations that can make you more or less likely to want to be a fuck off with your fitness stuff, whether it be skipping a workout or eating shit you shouldn't. Like it's a lot of stuff to navigate. But you get better at it the longer you do it, if you focus on getting better at it. If you keep fucking up and binging or just making bad choices, but then like the other 6 days of the week you're on par, but you keep doing that over and over, you've kind of set the precedent for yourself. You've set the habit that you're going to do shit like that. Where alternatively, what you could have done was just exude a little bit of restraint and tell yourself no and make the hard choice. It would create a whole different situation for you. Because the less often you fuck around on your diet and stuff, the easier it gets to stay on board with it. Instead of like rewarding yourself with the little treats, you have it known in your mind that you're gonna, like, these are just the things you're gonna eat, and that's just how it is, because this is the life you're living. That kind of mindset, pretty cool, because that'll get some serious progress made and some work done. I guess the whole point of this video is really just having a better relationship with yourself so you don't get in your own way. It's like a real certain peculiar, hard to sit on thing when you get in your own way, and that's why you fuck up. Because when you get in your own way, it's like you had the ability to succeed, you had the ability to do better and do the right things and get accomplishments done, but because of what's going on in your own mind, you let it fuck up what your body was able to do. And it sucks a lot more than any other kind of defeat. If I lose to another person, I could still have put in as much effort as possible and have done better than I've ever done, but someone's just overall farther along than me and they beat me at something. That's a real thing that happens. But when you fuck it up for yourself, that makes you feel a lot worse than losing to another guy. Because it's almost like the other competitors didn't matter at that point. Like, you're the one that dropped the cake on the ground for yourself. And I find all this rather interesting to ponder, because I for sure think like 180 degrees differently than I did 10 years ago. And while I imagine a lot of people are like that, it's really unrecognizable in a lot of ways to how I used to be. And the relationship I've improved with myself and my fitness goals, yeah, it's been a long road, but it's like we are one, you know? Like I am myself, I am not my goals, but my goals and me are also one, because I exercise, not exercise like I'm walking right now, but I exercise control over what I have control over every day. I really personally, I need to get better at clipping away wasteful minutes throughout my day. So, like, kind of a problem I have is I'll get a task done or something. Maybe I come home from work, or I'm gonna finish this, and I'll have like a 5-minute period where maybe I fuck around on my phone. But like, I'm doing a lot of different things in one day, and if I keep fucking around on my phone for 5 minutes every time I do something, by the end of the day, it's like a whole hour that I've wasted for nothing. And I want to improve upon that, because sometimes I do feel like I'm kind of rushing to finish all the things I need to on my checklist for the day instead of enjoying them. Which I understand you're going to have days where you just don't enjoy doing what you're doing, but I hate feeling like it's a rush to the finish line every day. I'd rather just like kind of get my work done, be confident in my work, and enjoy it, enjoy every second I'm doing it. When it's like 2 a.m. and I wanted to be in bed at 3 a.m. and it's a 20-minute drive home from the gym and I'm still there, yeah, you know, that's gonna make me a lot less likely to do an extra set or two of abs at the end or something like that. Or I'm shortening rest periods on sets to try and get out of there quicker, and maybe I'm moving a little faster than I'd like to. It feels like I'm not wanting to enjoy my time there. So I can definitely improve upon that. It's not like it happens all the time, but it happens enough that it does bother me. So I'd like to fix that. Do you guys have anything you want to fix? Like maybe there's something you really need to get better at doing, or restrain yourself a little bit more. Like, is there something you're doing like that? I'd love to hear about it. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna head inside, get ready for work. You kind of get the gist of that already, and I'll see you on the next one.